to royal ancestry and heritage. Mr. Heydel-Mankoo, how does this compare to previous royal visits in your view?
Well, first of all, I think it's rather nice that the announcement was made today, because today is Prince William's 29th birthday. And it reminded me that the very first royal tour of Canada in 1786 was another Prince William, King George III's son, and he had his birthday in Labrador. And royal tours have changed very much since those early days. This is going to be a much more fun and dynamic and energetic tour. It'll probably be the most successful and biggest royal tour since definitely that of 1983 of the then Prince and Princess of Wales when they came to Canada and went to the Stampede, or even before that to 1951 with Princess Elizabeth, or 39 when George VI and the then Queen came to unveil the National War Memorial in Ottawa. So we're talking about one of the most important royal tours that we've had in 100 years.
Now, sir, as you're no doubt aware, there are lots of Canadians who don't much care for the monarchy. There are many Canadians who do. And for those who do, we're feeling pretty happy about ourselves that they've chosen us as their first destination. Does it really mean anything? Is it symbolic of anything that Kate and William chose Canada for their first overseas visit?
It means a lot. I mean, Canadians need to know that the royal family have a deep and abiding affection for Canada. So, you know, secretly they'll never say it in public, but I think Canada is their favourite realm. Throughout the Second World War, the Queen Mother wore her famous maple leaf brooch, and the royal family have been to Canada more than any other realm. The Duke of Edinburgh has been here over 70 times on many private visits. They come to see their regiments all the time. And they were particularly touched last year when the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh came to Parliament Hill for Canada Day, and you had a record turnout. There had never been so many people on Parliament Hill for Canada Day. There surely can't have been a coincidence. Canadians, you know, with every generation change, and there was a quiet period in the 90s where there were fewer people than you would have thought coming out to royal events. But Canadians recently have really demonstrated their support for the monarchy, and I think that's going to make itself evident across the nation.
When the royals tour, do they have a personal or political agenda themselves? Would Kate and William hope to achieve something on a visit to Canada?
Very much so. Every royal tour has a theme, be it community interests, volunteerism, the environment. On this tour, they'll be focusing very much on the youth and on the military, obviously because of their youth and because of the Duke of Cambridge's own military involvement. And this is a chance now to connect with young Canadians. Older Canadians have a relationship with the monarchy already, but this is a time for a new dynamic monarchy to evolve and adapt in a new way, make itself relevant to 21st Canadian century people. And I think that's going to be the strong selling point of all this. And of course, you know, you had James Moore, their Minister of Heritage. He's only 35. They're going to Prince Edward Island, where Premier Giz is the youngest premier. So forget Star Trek, The Next Generation. This is Canada, the next generation, and I think that's tremendous.
Well, congratulations, sir. I think you know more about some of our politicians than many Canadians do. Let me ask you about the interest at home. I understand there's about 85 journalists coming from the UK. There must be a fair amount of interest in London about this tour.
Yeah, very much so. It's front page coverage. I'm a bit annoyed. I mean, I'm also Canadian, I should say, and I spent a good 10 years living in Ottawa. They tacked on a trip to Los Angeles on the end of this trip, and so unfortunately I think the LA side of this is going to get a lot more coverage than the Canadian side, and the US is always mentioned before Canada in recent news reports, even though they're staying in Canada for a lot longer. But certainly this is a great opportunity to promote Canada on the world stage. Canada doesn't get as much world attention as it should. It's peaceful and prosperous, and that doesn't make it necessarily newsworthy. So it's royal tours, which are one of the occasions when you can really celebrate the best of Canada, Canada's greatest inventions, its greatest assets, and of Green Gables. This is going to be Prince Edward Island's biggest ever public relations triumph. So this is actually, I think, a great thing all round.
You know, the question was asked about, these are young people and they're newlyweds and so on and so forth. But often when the royals leave home, they have an agenda that is so crammed, it doesn't actually look like it's a lot of fun for them. Do they ever have a chance to just get away from the crowds and just be themselves?
Yes, well, as you know, they just came back from their honeymoon in Seychelles, which was the greatest guarded secret, and the fact that they managed to escape the finely trained sleuths of the British tabloid press and enjoy some downtime there. says a lot. And certainly Kevin MacLeod, who's the Queen's Canadian Secretary in Ottawa and always devises these superb royal tours, always ensures that there is a sufficient downtime present for them to actually enjoy being abroad. But this is their first ever overseas visit as a royal couple, and so I expect them to be going through it hammer and tongs, trial by fire, and I'm sure they're going to enjoy every single minute of it.
Rafal Heydel-Mankoo is with Burke's, Peerage and Gentry. Nice to see you again, sir. Thank you.